Hello, welcome to another video. This is a reading experience slash review spoiler-filled video of a book, and that book is A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I do not have very much to say about this book, but here are just a few clips of the reading experience. It's not a whole lot, but it's something. Okay, I'm driving. I know I probably shouldn't be doing an update right now. You can't even see shit. But I started the audiobook for A Dowry of Blood. I think it's beautifully written. And I mean, I get it. You know, it's Dracula and his wives and his first wife or whatever. But he brings her to a home, I guess. He draws her a bath and he starts like taking her clothes off and she says, "No, hold on, I'm not ready for that." And he says, "I would never lay a hand on you." And then, you know, she says, "Thank you for letting me, you know, get my revenge on the people who killed me." And he's like, "I would bring you 1,000 men of whatever for your revenge." Like, just these professions of love. And I'm like, you don't even fucking know her. Like, I mean, I don't think so anyways. Kind of sounds like this is a first time meeting thing. I don't know. It's things like these that bother me, where I'm just like, how the fuck can you profess such love for someone when you don't fucking know? I got so heated that my car stalled. I stalled my car. I haven't stalled my car in such a long time. Point is, again, it's not a bad book. I'm enjoying it. The audiobook is very well read so far. I'm like 10% in. But it is one of my biggest pet peeves of like, I will do everything for you. Bitch, you don't even know the girl. Like, what the hell? But that goes to show the manipulation that can be done simply through words. Okay, I'm gonna do my thing now. That's it. I just needed to vent that. Alright, A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I went in fully knowing what this book was about. It is one of Dracula's wives. I knew that it was written in an epistolary form. If you don't know what epistolary means, it means it's written as like in letters. I know that the original Dracula is also epistolary, which is one of the reasons I didn't really like it, so I was a little hesitant when I decided to pick this one up, but I really wanted to read it because I just saw a few people praise it for the themes that it brings up. I mean, it's a pretty depressing book. It is gothic, it is dark, it is sad. It is about a girl who essentially was never really given a choice and was forced into a relationship, a very, very long-term relationship that she could never leave. And she was gaslighted, she was abused, and just, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It does have like content warnings in the front. I will say, I feel like it wasn't as bad as I had expected, but it does say, you know, emotional, verbal, and physical intimate partner abuse, gaslighting, war, famine, and plague. I don't feel like the war, famine, and plague was really that big of a deal. It was just kind of mentioned and it was there. Blood and gore, obviously it is vampires. Consensual sexual content, so it was consensual. Yeah, there was never a moment where it wasn't, honestly. It was one of those, it's one of those books where yes, it was never not consensual, but it was also manipulated out of someone. Like the consent was manipulated out of a lot of them. We'll just say that. Sadomasochism. Not entirely sure what that means. I know what a sadist is. I know what a masochist is. I'm not entirely, like, is that what that means? Both of them? That's both mentioned in the book? Probably. Yes, it is. Self-harm, body horror, violence and murder, alcohol use, depression, and mania. Yes. So the main character is Constanta. So I listened to it in audiobook form, although the physical copy has an extra little story at the end, which is very much worth picking up and reading afterwards because it adds a little bit of positivity after all the negativity. But Constanta was, I don't even know exactly where this takes place. I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's like Bulgaria maybe. But she was a girl who Dracula found. Oh, Dracula's never named, by the way, which I kind of thought was very cool. It was very empowering. But Dracula found her, and she had just been raped and essentially killed by her attackers, and he found her, and he gives her the option to live again. Like, what is it? He has to give his blood in order for her to drink it, and then for her to become a vampire. And he says, like, I can't force you. Oh, probably saw a squirrel. Anyways, so he says, like, I can't force you, but, you know, he's literally right there, like, come on, take it. You gotta drink it. I can't make you drink it, but I want you to drink it. So there's that. Yeah, I made the comment that, you know, Dracula says, like, I would do anything for you. And it's like, you don't even know her. You found her dead on the floor. Unless you were stalking her, like, I don't really know. That's very problematic. But it, you know, the manipulation was very clear. The way in which he would, like, pick someone that was just perfect for him to do whatever he wanted and influence to whatever he wanted them to do, think, say, whatever. And then it does obviously turn into imprisonment, where, like, you know, he's charming her whenever she needs to be charmed. He puts her in her place whenever he feels like she's overstepping. He never really tells her what he's thinking or doing, what his plans are, nothing. She gets no say in anything. If she does maybe bring something up that she would like to do, and it's minor, just so small, he's just like, okay, I guess. And then she feels like he respects her and listens to her. It's so very clearly manipulation. And the whole time I was like, wow, this is very well written, and it's very convincing. And I think in general, the writing too was just, it was very beautiful. It was, yeah. It's also thankfully short, although at the same time, I feel like it's almost too short. Reading this book, you're almost part of the experience that she had, so it can weigh a lot, and I feel like if it's too long, it would be too depressing. But at the same time, because they live so long and because they had so much time together, I feel like you don't really get the full extent of what it means for her to finally kill him. Because yes, she does finally kill him, which takes a while, because first it's her and him, and then he brings in another wife who is, I forgot what she was, but she was in Spain. She took over her father's rulership, whatever that was. I don't know if it was like a duke or a king or whatever, but she takes over his rulership, and she's very strong-willed. She's very politically minded, and Dracula is obviously, you know, he's just like, wow, what a woman. And Constanta is pretty pissed off about it. She's just like, yo, I had no idea that you were exchanging letters with this woman and planning on bringing her into our relationship. So she hates him at first, but obviously, you know, he gets his way, and she ends up actually falling in love with Magdalena. And so she enters the relationship, and they're together for a very long time. And Magdalena starts going stir crazy because they live for so long, and Dracula never lets them do what they want. So Magdalena throughout the years was sending letters to people, to politicians, to like-minded people, you know, all those things that you do to stay alive, to be alive, not drinking water and eating food, but interacting, living, you know? Dracula took that away from them more and more and more as the years went on, because he was seeing the danger of, well, if people notice that you're not aging, then, you know, you're a monster and they're gonna kill you. But also, he, you know, wants control over his wives. And in order to help Magdalena, he brings in another person into their relationship. This time it was Alexei. I don't remember where they found Alexei. I think it was in England. But yeah, they found Alexei, who's very young, and it's when they get Alexei into the relationship that things start becoming more clear, because Alexei is really young and he fights back what Dracula says. He's basically saying, like, dude, you are locking them up in here. You're not letting them live. And Dracula eventually kills Alexei's friends, who he invited over to their home because he was like, let's just have some fun. And Dracula was like, fuck that, killed them. And so, yeah, they go into Dracula's study, which he never lets any of them in there because he experiments and things, and he knows a lot about being a vampire. And Constanta finds a way to kill him, which is the stake to the heart, and bing bam boom, stake to the heart, yay. And yeah, then they just kind of live their lives after that, I guess. It's not super detailed or anything. There isn't really that much that happens in this book. It's really just very emotional and very, you know, the progression of relationships and the consequences of violence and abuse and all of that. I enjoyed it. Not like a favorite or anything, but I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, that's your prerogative, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!